So I'm originally from Toronto, and I came here into Florida initially, actually over 20 years ago, 21 years as of this month. And I came here right before 9/11. Actually, I take that back. I came here in the 90s originally, and I lived here for 3 years, and then I went back home. And I came back here in so it's 21 years since I've been back. So I've been here in Florida for a total of 24 years. And when I came back, it was right before 9/11. And needless to say, we were in a startup, and it didn't really work out so well because 9/11 happened. So life changed, and we had to change and pivot. And my old boss actually ended up absconding my personal funds. And I was like, how did that happen? He's a lawyer. This isn't supposed to happen. And it did. And I had to pull myself out of it and find a workaround. And I worked in-house and I struggled through things. And then I kind of fell into writing business plans. And I started writing business plans for visas because obviously I'm an immigrant myself. Well, not obviously, but it's not as obvious as some people. So I kind of had to find my way, and through a series of inopportune and opportune circumstances, I fell into immigration law. Why? Well, here's an interesting story. So I got married in December of 2006. February 2nd of 2007, my then husband was expeditiously removed from me and put into immigration jail on the way back from our honeymoon. He was subsequently deported, and here I was in the process of getting my green card with a husband that wasn't able to come home with me. And that was what catapulted me into becoming an immigration expert. And so again, inopportune and opportune circumstances, through my ex-husband's deportation, I fell into immigration, and he was denied a green card when I got my green card because he was inadmissible. And I pursued a path of helping others avoid a similar fate, really. And it turned into, there's been a series of ebbs and flows, as there is with any business. But most recently, because I am Canadian, and lots of Canadians are desperate to find new avenues, whether it be to invest in real estate or to move out of Canada because they don't get frustrated with lockdowns and rules and all of that, and cold, of course. And so I'm in the right place at the right time, and I help them find their solutions, whether it be to invest in US real estate like you do, or Costa Rican or Mexican or Belize or wherever. We find avenues and paths. I just reviewed a document for a cross-border transaction between an Australian company and a US company. And that's what I do. And I love it because it gives me the opportunity to get to be involved in some really interesting transactions and really help people to find solutions to the challenges that they face. Because when you're investing in your home country, it's challenging enough. But as soon as you cross borders, those challenges are magnified a million times. And anybody that doesn't pay attention to that is going to end up paying the price later. Like you said, instead of planning ahead, often people wait until something happens and then it's too late, and you're going to end up paying a lot of money in costs and legal fees and taxes and so on. So I always believe it's much better to plan ahead. And, what is it that Benjamin Franklin said? A failure to plan is a plan to fail. It's challenging at times because people don't want to listen to what they don't want to hear. And they want simple, cheap solutions. They don't want to spend the time and effort to get things done right. Listen, we're all guilty of it. Even I'm guilty of it from time to time. I'm impulsive and I like to do things. And sometimes I make mistakes, usually to my own detriment as opposed to my clients, because with clients, I'm much more of a planner. But, we're sometimes our own worst enemies. And clients, especially when they see a deal in the US, there are deals now still, and people see, oh, look at that, I can buy a property for $50,000 in Ohio, let's say. Yeah, but what does that mean? And what does that $50,000 property carry with it? And what are you going to do with it? And how are you going to buy it? How are you going to finance it? And in what entity are you going to invest in it? And where are you from? How is that going to affect you tax-wise? They don't pay attention to all those things. They just see this $50,000, especially when they're coming from Canada, where the average price of a property is about $700,000, right? Per door. So they're coming here, $50,000. What have I got to lose? Got a lot to lose. And so the challenge is, I have a download that I'll be happy to share with you, the top 10 most common mistakes people make when investing across borders. And one of them is, finding that whoever paid the most for the Google ad, okay, I'm going to hire them. Or, oh, I'm going to set up an LLC through some, volume-based business, which has zero interest in what that will mean for you. Or joining a coaching program, how to invest in US real estate, that doesn't pay any attention to what that means for you as a resident of Spain or Canada or Israel or wherever. And so there's all of these different elements that come into play, and people don't do proper due diligence. They just run before they walk, and they don't have a strategy, and they're going to pay the price. You might get away with it once or twice, but eventually it catches up. And then what happens, Billy, is that it will catch up and they'll get mad because they're like, well, what do you mean it's going to cost me this to fix it? Well, I have to undo the damage. We can't just build on it. We have to fix it. It's kind of like when you have a quicksand or a sinkhole on your house. You can't just keep building over it. It's just going to push it down more. You have to fix the base of the problem, fix the foundation, what caused the problem in the first place, and then build from there. And it's always going to be more costly to do it after. And I'll just throw one more thing in. I was always an in-house lawyer before I built my own business. I always worked as corporate counsel. And corporate counsel is always looked at as a cost center rather than a profit center. But the reality is, when you look at it from the perspective of what does this save you, having corporate counsel, having an in-house lawyer work on your team can save you so much money, because you don't have to pay somebody for litigation to represent you, to deal with all of these challenges. I'll repeat it in a different way if it's okay. There's a lot of books out there like Badass Sales and How to Get Sales. And, they always say, worry about the legal stuff last. Okay. And when you're selling, legal is like the last thing you want to think about, making sure you have the right structure. But I'm going to tell you that putting the right structure in place from the get-go is going to allow your sales to skyrocket that much more, because you'll have the foundation that you need, rather than getting to this critical point in your sales when you're like, wait a minute, my contract isn't airtight. Wait a minute, I pulled that from the internet and I just copy and pasted it, but I didn't really know what it meant. Or, you're exposing yourself to potentially huge liability. So here you are about to reach your 7-figure point, and you're not going to get there because you don't have that structure in place, those protection documents, so to speak, that structure that you need to make sure that you can scale your business. Because without the proper foundation, you'll never be able to scale, no matter how many sales you get, because they're going to run. They're going to be like, oh, this company is messed up. They'll see it. They might get that initial payment, but it will all fall apart. Building on a sinkhole never works. Fix the foundation first. And I'll throw something else in there, okay? At least on a daily basis, I get asked a tax question. I'm not a tax expert, right. But guess what? I have a tax expert on my team, and not a single one of my clients does anything if they're starting with me from the get-go and looking for a business or an investment opportunity. I don't even let them get past the front door until and unless they speak with my cross-border tax guy, because I am not the tax expert, and your tax liabilities could end up costing more than your investment. So you need to speak with that person, and I defer to him for every single question related to the structure. Especially my cross-border tax guy is Canadian and American licensed, okay? But we have tax experts that deal with Spain, that deal with Israel, that deal with England, certainly England, Mexico, you name it, because people are coming in from all over. And if their tax issues are not handled properly by somebody that understands cross-border issues, they're just wasting their time. Yeah. Now, the beauty of my team is that it's a team, and I am not an expert in Nevada law. I'm not an expert in Texas real estate law. What I'm an expert in is knowing how to pull in the team of experts. And if that expert doesn't work, we move on to the next, okay? I am the general contractor, and under me are all of the amazing contractors that I have built relationships with for years and years, and will continue to. I think it's any stage. I think it's as soon as they're looking at their first property. And it's important, if you're a person of means in your home country and you're investing in the US, you want to make sure that you have the right structure, or you can end up compromising all of your tax issues and so on. So tax, legal, everything. So you just need to really, at the end of the day, the key is consult early, consult often. It doesn't mean you have to listen to everything, but at least make sure that you're not compromising the integrity of what you're doing, because otherwise you're just throwing money into the wind. So it's always best if they have an idea of where they want to invest, because often people are coming to me with a million different ideas. I want to invest in 16 places. I want to invest in this. I want to do this. And it's impossible. You have to have a clear direction, or you can set up a consult to discuss that. But I am not going to tell the person where to invest, because it depends on your budget. It depends on your goals. It depends on the types of properties you want to invest in. It depends if you want a visa, because my signature program is called How to Immigrate Through Real Estate. So there is a way to get a visa to live and work in the US as a part of your real estate investing with an active business, as opposed to passive real estate investing. But again, you need to figure these things out and then come to us. We can't figure them out for you. We can figure out, our superpower is how to transition that passive real estate investor into an active real estate business owner. And we can help you with all of that. But at the end of the day, it's your business. Just like with any business plan I write, it's your business. You're the one that has to defend the business, manage the business, coordinate the business, have the business model. I cannot build that for you. I can help you. I can guide you. I can steer you in the right direction. I can get your entity set up, but it's not my business. And if, let's say, you are getting a visa, you're going to have to go to the consulate and have an interview about your business, not the business I created for you, because that's my business, right? When somebody says, can you write a business plan about, I don't know, a light switch patent? I'm like, yeah, I can write a business plan about anything. If you have the business and you have the model and you can help me with the financials, we'll give you the templates, we'll give you everything you need, but it's your business. It's your real estate investment path. So there's always going to be a difference between somebody that's on the fence, that's like, in between. Well, anyway, I just found out that this husband and wife are coming into this bus tour in Orlando next weekend, and I haven't met them in person, and I'm really happy about it. And the wife just left her 9 to 5, I think in December. The husband still has a job, but that's the beauty of a husband and wife team. I'm a single mom, so it's just me. But when you leave your job, when you make that transition to being a full-time real estate investor, it's a game changer, right? Because until then, you're just skating. You're just kind of dipping your toe a little bit. And it's great to have the passive income, no doubt. But until and unless you make that jump, you will never be able to you can't be a full-time real estate investor, and you will probably not be able to get a visa if that is your goal, because you need to make the commitment. So it's kind of the difference, and I'm not being critical, please don't take it this way, but it's the difference between being interested and committed. And when you're committed, obviously, we all need income. I know that myself. Like I said, I'm a single mom. I'm the sole breadwinner. So let's just jump off that ship as soon as you can. Ease the transition by getting you enough properties, and maybe having like some turnkey passive income lease back guarantee, which we, as I say, this is why we love Orlando. It helps you get into that mindset of being that full-time real estate investor, and it will be a game changer for sure. Coherent strategy is so important, and short and long-term goals, because for example, and again, I'll come back to the visa. A lot of people start by saying, I don't want a visa. I don't need a visa. I don't want to be in the US. I don't want to be back and forth. I don't want to run my international business. Like, you think about it, you're in Spain, you're investing in real estate in the US. You happen to be American, so it's a lot easier. But if you weren't, you would need that visa, because otherwise you're going to have challenges at the border. So you have to think about that when you're starting your investment path, because you need to plan ahead to make sure that you set up the right structure, that maybe one day you will pave the path to a visa, or maybe something along those lines. So it's important. I have a very, very big client who originally said to me, I don't want a visa. I definitely don't want a visa. Major real estate investor, in Canada up until now. And now we're working on a visa. That took about a month for them to change their minds. And that's what happens, because you realize the value of having this. Visa does not mean I'm moving to the US. It's not a green card. It's a visa. It's an opportunity. As a matter of fact, it's funny, because I have a colleague, his name is, doesn't matter. He's a lawyer, originally came from Toronto, set up an immigration law practice in upstate New York, and spent the first year of the pandemic, and I'm not sure honestly if it was Barcelona or Madrid, and he has a visa. He's a E2 visa, a non-immigrant visa, and he can be wherever he wants in the world. It's a free pass, basically. Just build a business. Well, you can do many things. I have a brand new bot that we just launched, AskLaurenesQ.com, AskLaurenesQ.com. So if you have questions or you want direction, visit our bot, and it's pretty cool. And it puts you into are you in the real estate bin? Are you in the immigration bin? And it's fun. It's not perfect, but you'll have some fun with it. Additionally, our new website that recently launched, investingacrossborders.net, not .com.net, investingacrossborders.net. And you can reach us by email at, the easiest one is investingacrossborders1@gmail, investingacrossborders1@gmail.com. You can literally find us everywhere with this Investing Across Borders name and brand, on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. Very, very proficient on LinkedIn. So we're pretty available out there and easy to find.